All right, I'm currently reading this book called Slimer. Essentially, I was out, I didn't have a book with me, I had some downtime, like, let me just, what do I have on Scrib, download it, and I seen this one here. I heard about it from Jordaline's channel, and it sounded kind of interesting, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually, so I've gotten to it, and I'm having such a fun time. I'm not very far into it. The vibe that I'm getting so far is like a B-grade horror movie kind of thing. It's kind of campy, it's fun, it's just a fun time. So essentially, this group is stuck on their yacht has been set on fire and sunk, along with some drugs that they were trying to smuggle in from Mexico, I think. And they're on a lifeboat, just floating out in the sea. The character, one specifically, I'm hoping dies horribly, but everyone else is just having a terrible time. But they seem like genuinely okay people. They come across this oil rig that has been abandoned, and it turns out it might have actually been like a medical facility, research, genetics, something. I'm not very far into the story yet, and I think the people on there created a slime monster that may or may not have ate everybody, and now is going to go after our cast of characters whose names I haven't learned yet, and I'm just loving the vibe. So, Cat's trying to knock everything over. So now I kind of want to find some other ones that can almost turn this into a reading vlog and just like that kind of vibe. So I got no way of finding other books by this. I could read from the same author, but meh. I'll try some more of his later. So we have Slimer, and I'm just going to go on Goodreads and readers also enjoyed. And I'm just going to pick one by the cover entitled, that one that just brings me joy. All right. I like the vibe of the nest. That seems cool. We have the slime beast, hellhound, the moon. Ooh, the rats. Oh, in the traditions of the rats, Night of the Crabs. Okay, Cypher, the reaping, the worms and his king. Weird. I feel what one bring. The Law of the Skies it is a story. I have read it. Do not recommend. Just child murder. Ooh, I found a puppet living in my apartment walls? Okay. I feel that's a little bit too weird. I'm gonna come back to you later. I will come back to this one for a different kind of vibe, because I think right now I want to stick to like B horror movie things. So we are going to go with where did this go? I think we're gonna go with the nest. This most closely matches the vibe, and then we're gonna get one from this one. Let's see. Again, the reaping tribe spirit seems interesting. I'm getting a little bit of the thing vibes from that cover. Could just be the ice. Oh yeah, I do not intend to read this. That's not going to happen. Paperbacks from Hell. These guys are coming up again. Those covers don't spark joy in me. I will probably give this guy, if I like Slimer, I'm going to read more from him, so the fungus I'll get to later. Oh, okay, hang on a second. It rides a pale horse. I own this. In fact, I think it's on my most anticipated shelf here. It is. There we go. Look at this. I own this book. Sweet. Okay, so those are the 3 books I'm going to be probably reading this week, maybe the next couple weeks. So I will check in when I'm further into Slimer, and then probably start this one next, and then I'll track down the nest. All right, this is apparently a spoiler-filled vlog now, so we're talking details at least for the beginning. So, place is evacuated. Tanker, no idea where everybody is. And they're like, well, they must have evacuated because something went wrong. Hazmat, stuff is everywhere. So, yeah, they evacuated. And it's like, well, why are the clothes here? They probably got chemicals or something on it. That's all. And it's like, well, the underwear is still inside the pants, and the bra's inside the shirt. Like, why would they put it inside when they left? I don't know. I'm not a hazmat person. Let's just keep going. They find these animal cages. Well, they evacuate the animals because there's no animals there when everyone else evacuated. And it's just like, and locked the cages and took the animals without the cages. And they're like, yeah, that's weird. Hey, there's this giant, how big of a tank? I think they said like 20 feet. I don't think. It's like, and they evacuate the fish too, because all the fish tanks are empty. Saying bad vibes. Look at the size of that tank. Yeah, at least 20 feet long. It just says Kakarodan. And I'm like, that name sounds familiar. What is that? I Google it, great white shark. There was a great white shark in that tank that it's now gone missing. First of all, you cannot keep a great white shark in captivity. It will die. But the blob has eaten a shark, is all I'm saying. Same thing with all the other animals. I'm assuming it went through the cages, went through the people, and just left the clothes behind. Dissolved flesh or something. That's my current theory of what's going on. I'm very excited for when they find the blob. Or slime, monster, thing. I'm going to be watching the blob because I'm reading this book. There's currently like a little poll on both YouTube and Instagram being like, do I watch the 1988 version or the 1956 version? The 1988 version is currently winning. Cats are terrible at nighttime, for the record. Just trashing the place. So I'm watching the Blob 1988 movie. It's only just started. We got like peak 80s humor. So guy who's going to be the main character, goes to a drugstore and is just like, get me a pack of condoms. And the priest comes up, is like, oh, haven't seen you in church recently this Sunday. He's like, oh yeah, I've been busy. And then, so teenager guy, I assume, and that teenager probably played by a 30-year-old for all I know. Then the priest is standing next to him, and then the pharmacist comes up right dead center between the two. Would you like ribbed or regular? And of course. So an asteroid has crashed into a field, and I assume that's where the blob's coming from. I literally know nothing about this movie. How do I know nothing about this movie? Okay, first of all, I feel bad. The actor's like 21. He does not look 30. It's fine. And it doesn't matter. The guy, the teenager, just showed up to his date's house, and she's like, okay, yeah, ready to go. Just, I want you to meet my father first. And he goes into the living room, and the father's there with the newspaper. He puts the newspaper down, meet the daughter's boyfriend or date of the night, and it's just like, it's the pharmacist, and he's just like, ribbed. It's wonderful. It's a delight. This is a delight. They just hit a man with their car. He has the blobby thing on his hand, and they're like, it's some kind of acid. They go to the emergency room because, hit by car. The other one also seen him try to chop his hand off, but the blob kept stopping him from chopping it off because the blob's, I guess, eating him. And they run up. It's like, nurse, we've hit this man with our car, or he's been hit by a car, and he's got acid on his hand. She looks at him very casually. He's just like, does he have Blue Cross? Any other health insurance? And I'm like, okay. Not gonna lie. Did not see that coming. Even a little bit. Nope. Scene just happens. Phone booth. This movie's fantastic. Everyone should watch it. Okay. Oh, they're not okay. They didn't! I have two favorite horror movies. The Thing and Saw 2. Arguably, possibly, Sinister. And Oculus as well. But that's besides the point. Please know, my love of The Thing knows no bounds. It's all consuming. I think I like this movie more. I think this was better. How did this happen? Alright, so Jessica from the future here. I've read all 3 books, and I think this went great. I need to take Goodreads reader recommendations more often. I was pleasantly surprised. So, going one at a time, we're talking about Slimer first. I love this. This was such a fun time. Cheesy B-movie horror, over the top, just a really fun time with a ridiculous premise. I'm knocking a star off, though, so only 4 stars because this was, shark slander. Sharks are friends. I love sharks. I'm just saying. How dare you, author. The characters were kind of cheesy, over-the-top characters, maybe a little bit, but the main couple I liked well enough. I wanted to see them safe. I was scared for them. The plot was extremely fast-paced, which I'd expect. It's a very short novella, I guess. How many pages was this? I read this online. 150 pages. Yeah. There was an underlying mystery of what the hell they were working on, what's going on. It did not go the way I expected. The creature was not what I expected. And the ending, I'm a little bit frustrated with. I would have liked a slightly different ending, but overall, no complaints. I definitely recommend this one. All right, next I picked up The Nest, knowing nothing other than there was a bug on the cover, so evil bugs. All right, so I have started The Nest, and it's going all right. It's a little slow starting off. Essentially, we are setting up a bunch of characters, like a lot of them, and I get what we're doing. We're establishing the town because it's a whole community based, which is fine. And then some of the characters are just getting picked off by the killer bugs, cockroaches of some type. But then you'll have a whole whack of lead up, and we're like, okay, waiting for the gruesome death scene, only for the character to get away. And it's just like, okay, we're building suspense. Is this character going to get taken down or not? But, like, you set up the characters, you put them in the situation, and then you either have them killed or they get away, repeat over and over again. It's just like, the story could have started by now. The scientist buddy is still thinking it's rats, when really I think the cockroaches are scaring the rats, making the rats act weird, but they're stuck on the rats are killing people. Not people, they don't know about people dying yet. A couple animals, and just in general the rats acting weird. So it's just a really slow start. This book could have been shorter. Maybe I just like short horror. That could be it. I just like short horror. I'm halfway through The Nest, and I don't know what I just read. You thought they were safe, then they weren't, then you thought they were, then they weren't, and then tragic. Just no chill, just straight up child murder. Oh my goodness. Alright, so reenactment of me reading like the last 20% of this book. Oh yeah, predictable, yeah, that's what I expected. Okay, it's average 3-star book. Yep, I'm enjoying myself, slow, whatever. Okay, alright, wrapping it up. Yeah, we're gonna have a cliche ending. God, 80 sex scenes are weird. Wait a minute. Why is there still a decent amount left for the ending? How are we wrapping this up? Just give me the ambiguous ending and move on. No, wait a minute. Be okay. No, I'm not supposed to be invested right now. I didn't know I cared about this character. Stop being an idiot. Oh god, oh god. Okay, oh no, it's fine. We're good, good. Wow, I don't normally like happy endings. I need a happy ending. No, don't do that. Why are we running upstairs? No. Okay, they're okay. No, they're not. All right, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's not. Oh my god. Wait, what? So 5 stars. We went from a 3-star average to me realizing I was invested in this story to 5 stars. Slow, especially till the end, but apparently I like this book. Goodreads, A+ recommendation. Thank you, readers. All right, and the Goodreads readers knocked this out of the park. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this book, because by like the halfway point, I'm like, it's fine. It's a good like light popcorn read, but this book is way too thick for like a fast-paced thrilling horror kind of thing. The body horror, intense death scenes, all took place in this book. Like, these bugs are evil. But the characters, I'm like, I don't care about these characters. You're just fodder for the insects. And then I realize by the end, oh god, I am invested. I want these characters to be safe. Like, we had a terrible written 80s sex scene going on, and then afterwards, when you think they're getting the happy ending, things start to pick up again, and I'm just like, wait a minute, no, have your happy ending. I know I was just saying a minute ago that I don't need you to have your happy ending, but apparently I do, and I got so invested near the end. This is a pretty straightforward story. Mutant cockroaches have abandoned the dump and are attacking the town and killing and eating everybody in sight. You have some scientists who were friends of the family of, like, I think the sheriff or someone there that came to help and do research on why these bugs are originally they thought it was the rats, but turns out it was the cockroaches had ran the rats out of the dump. But why the animals are acting strange and how do they fight against it, and we go into just enough biology that makes it semi-plausible if you turn your brain off enough, And I really, really enjoyed this. I love the science talk. I love the writing. Did not expect to care about the characters, but turns out by the last like 20% I did. So it went from like a 3-star fine read to like a 5-star read for me. I love this, and the ending is everything I wanted. I had a great time with this. On to the next book. All right, I'm getting ready for work, so I guess I don't look like a complete mess right now, but lighting is terrible, my God. I have started, was it Rides a Pale Horse or Something Rides a Pale Horse? I don't know what the hell I'm reading because, my God, it's already weird. We got a bunch of possibly immortal people. They're at least 200 to 300 years old. There's a ghost. The sister, who's the artist, probably has reality warping powers when they paint, which may have caused an incident in the past. The main character got a history, and he's a sculptor, and they kidnapped his sister so he can make these weird book things. Weird sculptures from this weird book. I don't know if I'm imagining that it was bound in human skin. I don't really know. Maven. Oh, let's not jump up on the counter, please. You got hair everywhere. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. All right, so they're getting stuff for their sculptures that may or may not trigger an apocalypse. I don't know what's happening, but they have to find items that represent things. And where is it? The book says something about where the unclean go, which seems super metaphorical and up for interpretation. So I think we should go for a bathtub. It's a great book. She's a witch. Gotta be a witch. The answer might be Burn the Witch. Just saying. Should I stop buying books based solely on the cover? Yes. Will I stop buying books based solely on the cover? No. Never. I am 70% into this, and I am finally invested in the actual plot. Hello, Maven. It's not that this is a bad book. It's pretty interesting. It had a lot of stuff going on, but the writing just never hooked me ever. I feel like I'm at a distance for it. The brother-sister relationship is not well explored. It's there, but I don't really care about either of them. The little ghost girl woman is pretty cool. I like her. Could have done more with the creepy museum of tortured people that the immortals have something going on. The mortal people's father may or may not be alive, may or not be trying to resurrect. I don't know what's going on with them. We may be getting like someone for the apocalypse. I don't know what's happening, but I'm having fun now. I don't want to say I hated this because I didn't. I just feel nothing for it. I found an audiobook for free online. Thank God for Scribd, because I would not have finished this book if I had to read the entire thing physically. I could not, for the life of me, get invested. The writing style is overly descriptive, and then it's just like blocks of text, and I'm like, I don't care yet. Get me invested in the characters, get me invested in the town, before you start overly describing everything. I just don't care. So, switch to the audiobook, thank God. Got through it. Interesting premise. You have a brother and sister, both artists. The brother is a sculptor, the sister is a painter. And she has been kidnapped by some crazy people who are like, hey, we've kidnapped your sister. Make us these sculptures from this creepy as hell book, and we'll give her back to you. So he's making sculptures with the help of his best friend and agent who sells his sculptures, and trying to get his sister back because they can't call the cops. But then weird things start happening when he builds these sculptures, like, oh, this is bringing about the apocalypse. And it's pages and pages and pages. I think he only makes like 2 sculptures. And then some body horror stuff happens, but the writing is so flowery and overly descriptive that I don't really care. And then the most lackluster ending ever. I'm like, we had so much build up, and that's how you're going to end it. That is how you're ending it. Just done. I like generous 2 stars, and only for the interesting premise. I think people who actually like art will like this more, because I was probably skimming over some of the description of like famous artists and techniques and stuff like that. I don't actually care very much about art. Oh, that's not even talking about the random ghost girl who I was very interested in their part of the story. Not saying what happens, but I was very disappointed with their part of the story by the end of it, because what the hell was the point? What was the point of any of this? Why? Why is my question. Why did the sister have, like, powers when she painted that could warp reality and people's minds get obsessive with those paintings that she's making? Did the brother have some kind of powers? I think he did. I don't know. Why did the creepy occult people, why were they living for 200 or 300 years? How did they sustain that? Because it was like, oh, they've been researching all this occult stuff, and most of it was complete lies, but some of it worked, clearly, because they're immortal now. And then they had these followers who were barely a part of the story. You could have went into these immortal characters for, like, how they were acting, because they bickered like regular kids that you'd meet here, or brother and sister, and then the sister's just like, I'm not a psychopath. I recognize that this is bad. I want to feel sorry. Like, you could have went into the emotions of what it was like to live for 200-300 years and trying to do something for, quote unquote, the greater good, or sacrifices you're going to make, or something like that. Anything. Like, give me some character development, because I know nothing about any of these characters, and I was with them for 352 odd pages, and I know nothing at all about these characters, any more than I did from the first time they were introduced. So no, it'd be really mean of me to give this a 1 star. 1 stars for books that actively offend me. This, I just feel, was a little bit of not for me. It wasn't that I wasted my time, it just, this book was not written for me. Between the descriptive writing, or the style of the writing, the focus on art, this one just wasn't for me. You can't stop me from buying books with pretty cover stuff. I'm still going to do that. So overall, pretty enjoyable. I say for the last book, I really like this vibe of horror. I'm going to have to go more into 80s horror as well, because Slimer and the Nest, I believe, are both from the 80s. And clearly, I love the movie, The Blob, so I really need to dive more into 80s horror. That is all I got. I will check in later.